Hello, Thrive Nation. It's Dr. Tiana here, just checking in with y'all today. If you're new here, I am the CEO of Mended Hope. I'm a coach, mentor, and life strategist, helping women increase their resilience and strengthen their walk with God. And so today, I want to check in about God winks. and So let me first define it because I'm a researcher and it needs to have a definition. So for me, God winks are just those moments when I may be doubting or fearful, and God sends me a sign that lets me know He's with me, and that He's got my back and that He's got it all figured out. And so most recently, actually, this makes me think about my experience going through breast cancer. And during that journey, I received so many God winks that I had to start writing them down because they would happen so often that I was like, this cannot be happening. And it was one of those experiences that is hard to explain, and having come out of that experience, I recognize just how often God draws closer to us when we are going through those life disruptions and those moments of pain and grief and sorrow. And before breast cancer, what my husband and I were actually family planning. And so I was praying for a baby and I got cancer, and it was not what I was expecting. It was not what I had hoped for my life, at 34. And so I was honestly just completely caught off guard. And there was one day when I was at church and I was talking with one of actually she's a colleague. I had invited her to church, excuse me. And we were talking at the end of the service, and I was just sharing, with her, the next steps in the cancer treatment and everything that was going on. And so I said to her, I said, I feel confident that I can, beat the cancer. But I'm just really concerned about the fertility piece. That is like a real concern for me. And I just, am not sure what that's going to look like. And so maybe an hour later, my husband and I are at home and we're making brunch, and I was in charge of the eggs. And I pull the carton out, grab a bowl. I go to crack the eggs into the bowl, and I was still kind of in my mind, like kind of replaying this conversation with my friend, and I crack open the egg, and there were 2 egg yolks in one egg, and I pause. I'm like, whoa. I don't know about you, but that has never happened to me before. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And I took it as a God wink. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is God letting me know that it's going to be all right. And I don't have to worry about my eggs. And I don't have to worry about my fertility. As I go through this cancer process, I can not be discouraged about what's on the other side, because He's promised already to give me the desires of my heart. And so I freaked out and was yelling to my husband, and he comes down and he's like, really? And he looks at the bowl and he's verifies the shell and everything. And he's like, and then I'm like, that's never happened to me before. Isn't that crazy? And he's like, well, he's like, I think he said that it had happened to him before. He had done that before and it had opened before. But either way, right? Regardless of his experience, this was my experience. And I felt so strongly in my spirit that it was a God wink. And so I was just so thankful that I am loved by a God who seeks to let me know that he's there and let me know that he hears me and that he's concerned about all the things that are concerning me. And so I don't know if you have God winks, but I would love to hear some of the God winks that you've experienced, because I know that he's always doing it. And it's just really our ability to tap into that and to get still enough to recognize that he is giving us signs and he is sending us love and he's sending us light and energy and, letting us know that he's working, even when we don't see it, even when we maybe don't feel it. He's there. And oftentimes I think, see it more in retrospect of, looking back on a situation and being like, oh yeah, like that's the common thread, the Lord was there the whole time. But it is such a sweet, sweet moment when you can be in it and recognize that he's there in that moment, right? And so if you have not yet experienced that, I pray that over you, and I can't wait to hear your story about your experience with a God wink. So if you have experienced a God wink, comment down below and let me know what your God wink was. Or if you don't feel like sharing it with the masses, you can DM me. I would love to read it and hear about how God has shown you his love during a challenging time or during a life disruption. So that's all I got for y'all today. I hope that you have an amazing rest of the week, and I'm sending you love and blessings.